Hi, I'm Skilla.
And I'm Crystal.
And we're starting a booktube channel. We live in Alabama in the United States of America. And we're going to introduce ourselves a little bit and talk about some of our favorite things about reading. Beginning with Crystal. What's your favorite genre?
Fiction. My favorite genre is probably fiction, but I'm getting into science more. But definitely all-time favorite fiction. All types of fiction. All of it. What is your favorite genre?
I really like sci-fi and fantasy a lot. Basically, if there's magic or robots in it, I'll probably like it. What's some of your favorite authors?
J.K. Rowling, Douglas Adams, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Had to do that one. Favorite book in the world is Little Prince. Always has been, always will be. And Mary Roach. Science. Gotta throw some science in there.
I really like Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman and a lot of, I guess,
Science.
Modern authors. I do also like to read science books, but it really doesn't matter who wrote it as long as it's correct. That's what I care about, and entertaining. So I really like those genres and authors, I suppose. What's your favorite book-to-movie adaptation?
Harry Potter. All the way. But not the fourth movie.
But not the fourth one.
No, the fourth one was terrible. I think my favorite one is probably the first Harry Potter movie. It's the best.
It is. It's adorable.
It's the cutest.
My two favorite book-to-movie adaptations are probably Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, and I guess I'm kind of cheating because Edward Norton's in it, and I'll watch anything with him in it. And my other one is probably Gone with the Wind, because it's actually better than the book, which I don't get to say very often, but the book is excellent, but I think the movie is just a little bit better in my opinion. I'm sure some people will lose their minds that somebody thinks the movie is better than the book, but that's how I feel. Okay.
Since you're very good book, bad book. I love all the books. She doesn't like all the books.
I'm a little bit more critical than Crystal is. I'm judgmental and cynical, but I'm happy, I promise.
Okay, so what's your biggest pet peeve when you're reading? Because I know you have a lot of them, so just pick one or two.
If it's something that I dislike in a book, I don't like shallow characters. I want a character to have depth. If it's shallow and isn't developing throughout the story, I lose all interest in the plot. A really good plot, I feel, can't be saved. Or a bad plot can't be saved by shallow characters, but a bad plot can be saved by good characters that are developing throughout it.
As they said in my creative writing class, the character moves the story, not the story moves the characters.
Very much. I mean, I think sometimes it can work the other way, but for me it only works if and I don't even have to like the characters, as long as they're well-developed, good characters.
Like Joffrey Baratheon.
Or even Cersei, oh my god. I hate that woman, but she is so integral to that plot. Oh my god.
Yep, okay. Enough Game of Thrones.
Sorry. Let's see, what's one of your biggest pet peeves when you're reading, Crystal?
Punctuation errors when my mother is a teacher, so she taught me grammar extremely well. So when I see books that split the infinitives, I do that, so I can't say that. But when it's in written word and it's wrong, I get upset and I might even put the book down.
I'm so bad at grammar, so if I catch a grammar error, you got a problem.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I was reading Wizard's First Rule, and in the first half of the book, I spotted 4 misspelled words.
I would put that down immediately.
I was very upset. That's 500 pages. You should be able to edit that. Okay, what's your favorite place to buy books?
Everywhere. No, one of my favorite places to go, and hopefully some people will actually know where this is. I believe the place is called Read It Again in Niceville, Florida. I am not positive exactly where that is. It's been about 2 years since I've been there. But it basically reminds me that it looks like the people who own it, or built it, or made it, or whatever, they took a house took out the house bit and just put a bookstore in it. They live in a bookstore, and that's what I want to do. So that's probably one of my favorite places. So if you guys can find it, go there. It's the best. It's my favorite. It's awesome.
I'll go anywhere that has good deals on books. It does not matter whether it's a corporation or personally owned by somebody. But I really like, there's a store called Deb's out in Coleman, Alabama. And she's awesome, but she has really good deals on books, and she'll buy back books for really good prices. Any hardback that she sells is like $2.50 if you have an account with her, and it's awesome.
Go there.
That's where I got all the Mowgli stories. Good price. Good job, Deb. And I shop online for books sometimes if I have the extra cash.
Thriftbooks.com. Free shipping. Love that website.
Yes.
Everyone go there.
Okay. Do you read books just once, or do you read them multiple times?
Hell no, I read them till they're... No, my Harry Potter books are pretty much destroyed. I cannot pick them up anymore. I reread books. If I really, really like the book, I can read it twice a year, 3 times a year. But if it's a book that I like, I mean, there's a couple books that I try to read at least once every year, 2 years. But the list is growing exponentially, so I might have to...
You'll just stop reading new material altogether.
Eventually. No, I'll just kind of push the reading. Just when I'm looking at my bookshelf and I say, I remember this book being awesome, I'll pick it up and read it again. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take me very long.
I'm a super slow reader, so rereading books to me is almost a waste of my time because it takes me so long to get through books. But I will reread some books. I've reread American Gods. I think I've reread it all the way through twice. I know. Lots of times, right? And that's one of my very favorite books. But it takes a whole lot for me to read a book twice. But that's just because I'm a big dummy and read really slow. If I read really fast, I'd read books all the time. I just have to remember what I'm getting as I get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you said American Gods. Do you have any other favorite books that you will absolutely love over anything else?
I could reread basically any Terry Pratchett book I've read. Pretty much every single book by Terry Pratchett is absolutely rereadable. I know I already mentioned both of them, Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, but I just love them so much.
Good Omens.
Good Omens. Oh my God. I could reread all of the Harry Potter books. I could reread the Hunger Games series. I could see myself rereading Ready Player One. As soon as I finished, I was just like, can I start over now? It's so good. Those are probably the top ones that I would reread. Anything by those authors, great stuff.
Good stuff.
What's your favorite thing about reading?
Well, pretty much any book you read, whether it's fiction, non-fiction, doesn't really matter. I always learn something about the real world, or something that I can learn a new hobby. If something that the characters are doing, I think, oh, that sounds really fun, and so I'll go out and try and take up their hobby. It usually doesn't last very long, but
you have too much reading to do.
I have too much reading to do. No, there was a character in a book that I read that constantly folded paper cranes, and I do that all the time now. What?
Paper cranes.
and a planet that a friend of mine built me. So
Yay!
They glow in the dark too. I like them.
That's pretty spectacular. For me, I just like being enveloped by a world. It's like when you watch a really good movie and you just think about it for the next week, you know, it's all you can think about. You're like, oh man, that was a really good scene. Oh man, that was really cool. Well, in books, for me, if it's a really good book, I'll be thinking about it months later because I was just so taken in by the world that was created, or by the characters that were created, or by the writing style, or whatever it is that I love about a book. I just love that when you read an excellent book. It just completely surrounds you, and that's what I like.
Harry Potter.
Like Harry Potter.
The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I haven't read those.
Ready Player One did that.
Oh, yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Dude, yes. So much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those were all really good. But anyway, that's a little bit about us. We intend to start posting videos very soon, and hopefully we'll be doing one at least every other week, maybe more frequently.
If we can get together and
If we can
record
get
them.
together, because we both work full-time jobs and have a lot of reading to do. So, but we intend to post as frequently as we can, but maybe not as frequently as other people on BookTube, and we may not read as many books as other people on BookTube, but we read basically all of our
But
spare
they're only
time.
one person, and we're two people.
We're two people, and we're trying to read the
Whole
same. We're trying to read the same books as we go, so that we can both have a comprehensive review on it, or something that makes sense to say. But I guess that's about it. Bye!
Bye, guys!